I'd like to hear more about protecting your business. What a timely topic. Stay right here. Did someone say CrowdStrike? Cyber Wardens is a free Australian government-funded online training course designed for small business. You'll gain simple and practical tips to help protect your business from cyber threats, which are increasing every day. To enlighten you further, please welcome Kimberly Roberts-Sarley.
Hi, everyone. Just always have to fix the mic because there's height differences happening all the time. So hi, everybody. My name is Kimberly, and I'm from the Cyber Wardens team. I am delighted to be here today to talk to you about small business cybersecurity. We have this morning and up to now heard big ideas, big innovations about technology and how this can be applied to your small business. I'm here to simplify and kind of switch gears and talk about how we can simplify cybersecurity for your small business. So very timely, we've got the CrowdStrike outage that happened last week, not even a week ago. Show of hands, who was affected here in the room? Who saw that blue screen of death? Yeah, so good to see that not everybody was affected, but it's really important to remember that now that the CrowdStrike outage happened, that's when scammers are going to be taking advantage of the fallout from the CrowdStrike scam. So there's quite a lot of cyber attacks in the media. There's always cybersecurity stories. So it's really good to be prepared in your small business to be able to be resilient and have the tools to protect yourself from cyber attacks. So what is Cyber Wardens? Cyber Wardens, at its core, is a free e-learning online program that provides you with the simple tips and tricks to apply in your business to help protect yourself from cyber attacks, from scams and hackers. The program is developed by COSBO, which is the Council of Small Businesses, the Council of Small Business Organizations of Australia. It's funded by the Australian government, which is why it's a free program, and it's also backed by an industry alliance of Telstra and CommBank. So just like we have in your business first aid officers, fire wardens, people that are designated to protect your business from physical threats, the Cyber Wardens program is designed to assign that person to protect your business from digital threats. Anyone can be a cyber warden in your business, and a cyber warden is essentially the team champion or the team captain for cybersecurity within your business. We'll talk about the fact that cybersecurity is at its core a people issue. It's not a tech issue. A lot of people think that it's device failures, it's tech failures, but at its core, it's a people issue. Anyone in your business, like I said, can be a cyber warden. They'll be the person who knows, how to protect your business against scams, how to protect your passwords, how to protect your important data. They'll be the first point of contact as well if anyone identifies or is unsure about a scam or something that looks fishy. That person is the champion for cybersecurity within your business. Anyone can be a cyber warden, but not only that, we also encourage businesses to have multiple cyber wardens within their business, and we're going to go over why that's important throughout this presentation. So first and foremost, the Cyber Wardens program is part of the Australian cybersecurity strategy. That was released by the Australian government late last year, and that includes 6 shields that are the pillars of cybersecurity for the nation. The first shield is strong businesses and citizens, so equipping our businesses and our citizens with the tools to be able to be cyber safe and cyber resilient, and that's where the Cyber Wardens program comes in. So today we're going to do a bit of a boot camp, a cyber safety boot camp. I'm going to go over the small business cybersecurity risks that you might encounter in your day-to-day operations, the red flags and warnings that are really important to keep in mind and to be able to identify quickly. The reason why cyber safety is a team sport, and I touched on that a little bit, but that's really important to ensure that your whole team is an ally within your cyber safety journey. The bad habits to break, so we all do bad habits. I'm also guilty of them, or I have been guilty of them. And so we'll identify those bad habits and how we can break them. And last, I'll give you some quick and simple cybersecurity tips that you can apply in your business today. So let's dive in. Small businesses, we know they're doing it tough at the moment. It's a tough economy. It's a tough landscape economically in the country. But small businesses are actually an economic powerhouse. They are 2.5 million small businesses employ Australians and employ up to 5 million Australians within the country. They contribute to just over 500 billion of the national GDP, and they are the main innovation drivers. So we've seen all the amazing innovations that are happening in this room and in this conference today. And I'd venture a guess that a lot of them are small businesses or started as small businesses or startups. So they really are the backbone of the economy. And we should all be really proud to be part of that industry. We conducted some research late last year with about 2,000 small businesses, and we asked them to identify their top threats for their small business. Some of them you would be, they're quite obvious: energy prices, cost of staff. I know with tourism businesses as well, workforce shortages have been at the forefront, especially after COVID-19. Extreme weather events are always top of mind as well. But cybersecurity threats are actually the number 3 cybersecurity threat for small businesses. So they're quite significant, and it's really important for our small businesses within the country to be equipped with the skills to be able to mitigate cybersecurity risks. A lot of those factors are outside of our control, but the beauty with the cybersecurity threats is that it's actually something that you're able to implement in terms of quick wins within your business quite easily, and at least feel in control from that perspective from all the different threats that can arise externally. So when we surveyed our participants, it was really interesting to see that there was a tale of two stories. About half of the people don't think that cybersecurity is a high risk, and the other half do think that it's a high risk. So those ones that don't think it's a high risk, they tend to operate under the fallacy that being a small business is you're safe because cyber attackers only target big businesses, but that's false. We'll see why in the next few slides, but small businesses are actually a huge target for cybersecurity attackers, and it's really important to be able to protect yourself from those risks and attacks that can arise. So when we look at the data, and I'll go through this quite quickly because I want to be able to give you the time to really talk about the actual implementation of cybersecurity mitigations within your business. But when we quickly look at the data, we see that almost 40% of small businesses don't have the confidence to be able to identify, fight, or recover from a cyber attack. And so that's where the Cyber Wardens program comes in, where we're able to provide small businesses with the tools to implement within their business. All the research is also on our website, which there'll be a link at the end. If anyone, I know there's a lot of people who really enjoy data in this room, so if anyone is really interested to dive into the research further, that's all on our website. Essentially, small businesses are scared, and one of the reasons why a lot of small businesses don't necessarily take the steps to protect themselves from cyber attacks is because it sounds very scary, it sounds very overwhelming, it sounds very techy, and it's kind of an ostrich in the sand situation where if it doesn't happen to me, I don't need to know about it. And that's what cyber criminals prey on, the fact that you're vulnerable, that you are underprepared, and that you're scared. So when we quickly have a look at some of the basic steps that must be implemented to make sure that your business is cyber safe, about half of small businesses don't actually implement any of them. So we look at multi-factor authentication, we look at up-to-date software, strong password practices, daily backups. Half of small businesses don't have that as a day-to-day quick win or as a day-to-day implementation within their business. So I've prepared a little quiz for you. Show of hands, how many cyber attacks are reported every day? Show of hands, who thinks it's 38? 121? And who thinks it's 240? Yeah. And you would be correct. Every 6 minutes, an attack is reported. And that's only the attacks that are reported. So we're looking at the very tip of the iceberg here. Within this presentation that I'm delivering, we'll have 5 attacks already reported. And that's only, like I said, the tip of the iceberg. Think of all the dodgy links that you receive. Think of all the scam messages that you receive. Think of your mom asking you for money to transfer $5,000 quickly. Those are all scams and cyber attacks that don't necessarily go reported. So the 240 is the very tip of the iceberg, which really outlines the scale of the problem within the country and for small businesses. How much crime is targeting small businesses? So who thinks 16%? 43%? And 67%. Well, we've actually tricked you on that one. It is 43%, but that's still a very high percentage when you think that we're looking at cyber attacks. When we talk about cyber attacks, we talk about all cyber attacks. So that includes the big ones, the ones that hit the many banks of the world, Optus, the Iconic. We're talking about the puppy scams that you might see on Gumtree. We're talking about your mom asking you to transfer some money. We're talking about all the dodgy romance scams that happen. So throughout all those types of cyber attacks, 43% actually target small businesses, so tourism operators, like most of you in the room. How much do you think an attack costs a small business? So who thinks 9,000? 46? And 57. Yeah. So it's actually $46,000. The average cost has risen in 2 years from 9,000 to 46,000. So I don't know about you, but there's a lot I can do with 46,000. That doesn't include giving my money to cyber criminals. And that $46,000 is a hard cost as well. It's a financial cost, but that doesn't necessarily take into consideration the lost revenue, the staff hours, the lost hours that you're putting into your business as well. And another thing to remember is that $46,000 that might have been drained from your bank account from a cyber attacker, that money's gone, but you might also then have to pay your actual suppliers that are still needing that money, that are still requiring payment. So it's almost like a double-edged sword. So the $46,000, again, is a hard cost, but it can scale quite quickly. And I'd venture a guess that most small businesses don't have $46,000 to just give away to cyber criminals. So we talked about this a little bit before. How many attacks are caused by human error? Who would say 95%? Who would say 54%? And 23%? Yeah, you guys can see the pattern. It's usually the higher numbers. So 95% actually of all cyber attacks involve people in your business. That is 19 people out of 20, 19 attacks out of 20 involving people in your business. So when we think that cyber security is a tech issue, that's a fallacy. It's really a people issue, and it's something that needs to become part of your culture within your small business to make sure that your whole team is across cybersecurity best practices. One weak link in your supply chain or in your team can be devastating for your business and can cost you up to $46,000 and more. So now that we've had a quick look at the data and some quick stats that are hopefully not scaring you, but putting the scale of the problem into perspective, let's dive into what cybercrime looks like. Because we keep talking about scams, we keep talking about cyber attacks, but what does that actually look like? The top 3 cybercrimes that target small businesses are inbox break-ins, fake invoices, and banking burglary. So the inbox break-in is essentially what it says on the package. It's when a cybercriminal gains access into your inbox. And I'll delve into that one a little bit deeper because your inbox is essentially your safe. It's your vault. It's got all your very important information. So if they are able to access that, they've basically got access to all your data. The fake invoices is perhaps you receive an invoice from a supplier, it's a fake invoice, the cybercriminal has changed the payment details on the invoice, and you end up paying them instead of paying your supplier. Similarly, it'll be a fake invoice that a client of yours receives, where they think that they're paying you, but they're paying the scammers. So you're not getting the money, and your clients are losing their money as well. So you can see how that reputational damage is really risky in terms of having those types of attacks go out to your clients and your suppliers. And then banking burglary is, again, essentially going into your bank account, hacking into your bank account, and draining your funds. So being able to transfer the money straight out of your bank account into the cyber criminal's bank account. So the reason I wanted to spend a bit more time on the inbox break-in is because, like I said before, your inbox is a treasure chest of information. Think about everything that you send through your emails every day. You'll send payment details, you'll send customer records, you'll send employee records, business strategy documents. As soon as a cyber criminal accesses your inbox, they've got access to all that data. And that data is very valuable to them to be able to sell on the dark web or to use for malicious reasons. Secondly, once they have access to your inbox, they can launch secondary attacks. So that's something like impersonating your company to your suppliers, to your clients, to your employees, sending attachments to your employees that are essentially malware or ransomware. So there's a lot of secondary attacks that can be launched from an inbox break-in. So that's why it's really important to have those tools in place to be able to protect your inbox, which is essentially your safe, your information. So just like you would use a key to lock the doors to your business after the end of the day and set an alarm on your doors, a multi-factor authentication is essentially setting a virtual alarm on your accounts once you've got that password. So I'm sure you're all very familiar with MFA. It's that annoying second step that means that it takes you a bit longer to log into your accounts, but I think I'd take the annoyance, the 2-second annoyance, over a $46,000 loss of income or revenue. So alarmingly, only about 46% of small businesses protect their email inbox with multi-factor authentication. It's the first and easiest step to ensure that you've got that second layer of protection, that hackers can't access your data. And for anyone not familiar with multi-factor authentication, it's that code that you get on an SMS or through your email or on an authenticator app, and it really adds that second layer of security, which makes it almost impossible for hackers to access your accounts. And in the same vein as multi-factor authentication, having long passwords, unique passwords, not reusing the same password for all your accounts is critical. When we look at some of the data breaches that we've heard recently, the credential stuffing scams like the Iconic or like Dan Murphy's, essentially what hackers do is that once they've been able to steal passwords from another attack, they'll use those passwords on multiple websites until something sticks. And then once they're able to access your account, for example, the Iconic, when they're able to access your account, they're able to access your payment details and just go nuts with a little shopping spree. So all those steps all culminate together to make sure that your business, your small business, is safe. And they're all very quick to implement. So we've looked at the types of cybercrime, and I'll just summarize quickly why cyber criminals target you and your team. We've talked about this a little bit, but they'll take advantage of how busy you are. So I'm sure that most of you are running small businesses. You're the marketing team, you're the sales team, you're the bookkeeper, you're the HR manager, and cyber criminals know that, and they'll take advantage of the fact that your attention is divided among so many different items that you're vulnerable to clicking on a link through no fault of your own. Same with the fake customer complaints. I'm sure that most of you, if you're running a small business, the last thing you want is for your business to receive complaints. So if you receive a complaint, I'm sure that you would be very, you'd want to resolve it quickly, and that's when you might not think or stop to check that the links are all genuine before you click on anything or open a document or a photo of a faulty product. Fake invoices, so we've gone over those, but that's very common in terms of targeting your team. And it's not just yourself, but it's anyone in your team. It can be the admin person that opens the invoice and they go, oh, I better pay that. Or they know that at some point, you're processing batch invoices, and so you're not really paying attention to all the details, and you just pay an invoice through no fault of your own again, but transferring the money to a cyber criminal. And then they target your team, like I said. So targeting your team can be anyone from the social media coordinator to your admin manager to your operations manager. So they'll know that there's vulnerabilities within the team and that not everybody has the same level of cybersecurity knowledge, and so that's what they'll take advantage of. So in terms of red flags, just quickly, and I'm sure that you're all familiar with those, but again, it's really important to stop and think about those because we all know them. They sound like common sense, but sometimes when you're busy, when you've got a million things on the go, you might not necessarily stop and think before you act, and that's what scammers are preying on. So unexpected invoices we've talked about, anything that doesn't look like you were expecting to receive a payment to a supplier, that's to be treated with caution. Same with uncommon or misspelled email addresses. I don't know if anyone's received the MyGov, GUV, text messages or OzPost. And I know that I order a lot of parcels, so for me, OzPost makes sense. But that's where they get you. They go, oh yeah, surely someone will be ordering parcels. And that's a quick way for scammers to get into your devices. Same for a change of banking details for a usual supplier. So if you see on an invoice that they've updated their payment details, be very wary about that, and always double check that, calling the banking institution or the supplier directly. Don't use the phone number on the invoice because sometimes that phone number will be linked to the scam as well. So it's really important to independently find a phone number and be able to double check that. And then we've got the unusual requests, hidden links, or suspicious attachments. So I'd mentioned that before, the fake customer complaints that attach a photo into your social media DMs. You want to be a good business owner, you want to be a good operator, you click on the photo, and next minute it's a piece of malware that they're installing on your device. So again, those are all common sense. We all know about them, but it's really important to kind of remember them and keep them top of mind when we're thinking about cybersecurity within our small business. So like I said before, 95% of cyber attacks involve human error. So that's why making cybersecurity a habit within your team, not only for yourself if you are the owner, but for the whole team, and also for your whole supply chain, is really, really important. Just under 80% of small business owners demonstrate cybersecurity bad habits. And this is not a name and shame kind of environment. I've done most of them. But I might just put them up on the screen for you guys to have a good hard look at what you might or might not be doing daily that might put you at risk. And like I said, this is a safe space. If anyone wants to admit to snoozing a software update, has anyone done that before? Yes. I've been in meetings where you're talking to the CEO, and now is not the time for the software update to come and to be implemented. But having those software updates, if you keep snoozing them, your software gets older and older, and that's where the cyber criminals infiltrate your systems. Who puts their laptop in sleep mode and or doesn't turn it off at all every day? Yeah. I can relate. I don't do that anymore, but I mean, having all those tabs there every morning when you log in is a lot quicker than having to reopen everything you were working on the day before. But again, that leaves you vulnerable to cybercrime. So they're all those little habits that we do that incrementally, if we look at changing them and implementing that culture within the team of changing those cyber habits, that's where we can build a cyber secure and cyber safe workforce. A really interesting one, actually, before I change, is the out-of-office message. I would have never thought about that before, but I see a lot of people putting their out-of-offices. I'm in Paris, I'm having a Euro trip, I'm at a conference in this city on these dates and that convention center. All those details that you're putting in your out-of-office, a scammer sees that, and then they can impersonate you really easily to your team and make it feel really credible, because your team will know that you're in Europe, or they'll know that you're at a conference. And so setting those out-of-office messages to make them very just generic and just, sorry, I'm out, I'll get back to you when I can, which is what I do now, it makes it a lot easier for them to be able to get access to any of that detailed information. So we've talked about all the steps that you can take and how you can break those bad habits. And so that's where the Cyber Wardens program comes in, and that's why we've built that program. Through research and through consultation with the small business industry, we've designed a program that is really simple. It's free. It only takes about 2 minutes to enroll, and it gives you those free and simple quick cyber wins to implement into your business today. The Cyber Wardens program takes about half an hour to complete. So half an hour on your lunch break, complete the course, and by the end of your lunch break, you are cyber safe, or you're starting your journey towards cybersecurity. You can also pace it out as you need if you don't have that half-hour block. It's a self-paced program, and it just helps you identify those risks and also put those strategies in place to be able to defend against cyber attacks. So I've put a QR code here, and I'll leave one up on the screen after as well. But essentially, the Cyber Wardens program covers the 4 essential basics for cybersecurity, to implement for cybersecurity within your business. That's the up-to-date software, so updating your software whenever those updates come up. It's setting that multi-factor authentication. It's making sure that you don't have the same password 123 for everything, and that you're not sharing those passwords with your team on spreadsheets and on Post-it notes on your laptop. And it's also implementing those backups, making sure that you back up your data daily to make sure that it is as safe as possible. So once you complete the training, you'll have access to all those resources as well to keep cybersecurity top of mind within your business, including our bad habit bingo that you can put up in the lunchroom and ask people on the team who's doing what, and potentially start a conversation about cybersecurity within the workplace. So if you want to help promote Cyber Wardens, I see a lot of people nodding and agreeing that this is really critical to have in their small business. First of all, become a Cyber Warden. It's really easy and it's free. And you'll get those simple tools that you can implement. But then tell your small business colleagues and your network as well. Like I said before, 1 weak link in your supply chain or in your team can mean devastating consequences for your business. Promote it across social media and get in touch with me. My colleague is here in the other room as well, and we're happy to provide content, ready-made content for you to promote within your social media channels all you need to do is post it. There's nothing else for you to do. We can provide all the content. And then if there's anyone here from an association or government department or a larger organization, we can also host webinars for your team. We can host training sessions. We can host presentations like this one where we can talk to your team and help you be cyber safe within your business. So I'll leave this up on the screen. I'll ask everyone to scan that QR code and to enroll. Enrolling only takes 2 minutes, and it's the start to cyber safety for your business. You don't need to complete the course right now. You'll be provided with further information to be able to complete it at your own time. But yeah, I'd like to thank everybody for listening, and I hope that you've all taken a few quick wins that you can implement as soon as you leave this afternoon. Thank you.